go! Thank you everybody for bearing with us. We are go! All the way in towards the bank. Go! Elevate versus Furia. Okay. We ambled a lot there. Thank you for sticking with us. We had the option to find our way in towards the game. And, oh boy, howdy, did we take it. Where are we going to be on the band? Because this is always that point where you get specific play, I think it's fair to say, on bank.
Yeah, you've got a few options. There's usually you'll work it as kind of sets in terms of what you want to ban. One thing that we see is obviously shield bans. Monty is phenomenal on this map. We know that straight away. We see electrification ban being one of them, and then also the ranged hard breach. And then there's the Monty. I think, yeah, you needed to go for that. I mean, we've also seen sometimes teams actually double down on the range hard destruction, and they go for like an ace and Habana, and that makes the top floor really tricky to attack. So there is still that form of ranged hard breach. So areas like count the wall can still get opened up. So yeah, not all doom and gloom for Fury. Still options there with that top floor. In terms of their air bans, I just think it makes that basement a lot easier. Obviously, their top floor attack is going to be a little bit more difficult because there's still going to be operators like Castle, like Azami available to themselves. But overall, I think for the basement, which is where Furia will be attacking into first, they should have a better pace about it. Don't have to worry about getting through the caves and the hatches. Mirror windows, we know, is always a difficult thing to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
But as we know, the way that the meta has kind of developed in Bank, it's all about how well you can clear that open area hold that teams will go for.
Wow, a bit of a swap round there on the final sort of approach. I was going to make comment on Philippox bringing the sledge and utilizing that for quick rotations, quick control of the top two, but no! Ooh, Stemp wants to see about maybe going for a little bit of a hop and a run out here, try and get somebody on their way towards Garage. They're also prepped on the top floor, but yeah, that didn't quite work, did it there, buddy? Stemp gets caught, can get himself out and survives. That's the most important part, but now you're looking at just being a sliver away. It could take a bit of a spray through a soft. It could take a little bit of wing damage.
Look at lineup on the attacks of Furia. Obviously, you mentioned about the sledge. Also would have been really helpful for going upstairs and then sledging those roamers. But in terms of clearing roamers, you've got plenty of things for that. You've got your Dokkaebi, you have your Deimos, even the Brava. If you're able to hack like a default cam, that could still perhaps get you some information. And look at the IQ getting value. You can see the players on their phones. It pings out. There's a guy in elevator now. You can spawn out these Valkyrie cameras.
I think that's entirely it, right? Think about what is on the side of the defenders. You've got those Banshees, but you've got the double down of Intel, Valkyrie and Mozzie for IQ to play with.
And don't forget, there is also a combination with IQ and Dokkaebi, where whenever the defender goes to switch off their phone, the IQ scanner can see them.
Well, they found the Mozzie via a face check with a Brava drone, but there's nobody to immediately get the swing round, so they can sort of still play in this play space. They've got a stretch above currently, and there's Ion taking a bit of damage, but not enough to kill it in the Deimos tracks, and they'll just peel back on towards the hatches. They can try and drop through if they want, but they're being watched and waited by JV92, ready to try and add to that already impressive 2.0 KD. KZ, in the meantime, is going a little bit blow for blow with somebody on the server side, but the first trade comes out. Philippox finds Stemp, Ion finds JV92, and that's the man watching the window for the escape. But they're not happy to leave the open area just yet without at least taking one more for the trouble. IQ is gone. Deimos is downed. They're not going to go for the cleanup just yet. Can they get the pickup here, Demo?
Well, I think in more or less a 2v4, because crossing that divide with the big old impact hole is going to be really difficult. Oh, misses a shot, so that does open up the potential for the revive, but Nade is still just onshore because he knows he got the player swung in towards that quad wall, and he's just watching for it. Resets, so picks up Philippox. The revive is successful, but I mean, they're still not in a great position here.
No, a bit more damage done. Obviously now the 3 versus 2, but they know exactly where they are, and they're still refusing to give up the territory. Keep it as a 2 versus 2. There's 20 seconds. They need to hit the site, but they're not going to see it as Ion gets himself a second for the round, and Nade with the kit about to be rounded on from behind. And there it is. Wraps up the round. It's an Elevate opener.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Elevate go with that style of play. Do not let Furia in the game. Fight them for everything they're worth. And they did that. I mean, that's a basement. You wouldn't think it's a basement because we didn't see any basement played, but it was. And that was just a phenomenal roam. You front up the kills, you're playing off each other, I think the only thing with Fury is you maybe needed to look for more options, because it was very just tellers and archives. That's where everything kind of stemmed from. There wasn't much pressure coming in from like kind of copy window, for example. That's always a good place to put somebody, just to watch the rotations. Even getting somebody, you know, pushed up top square and then walking down square looking to challenge on the quad wall. You know, there's options too still for Furia, but just couldn't get it going, just couldn't keep the numbers in their advantage. Yes, they were able to get some kills, but Elevate got more.
Full start, we'll find out soon enough as we get what is almost a full 5 rotation. Hibana is always useful. In the right hands, the gun is brilliant. Yeah, it might not have...
Which gun?
Okay. Even during its phase of having only 21 bullets, will always love the primary assault rifle.
Yeah, ain't nobody using that.
I don't care. I don't care.
Ain't nobody using
I
that
don't care.
whenever DMRs are a thing.
Yeah, DMR. We are in DMR city nowadays. It just... yeah. Alright, I'm sad now. You've ruined my morning. JV92, to be fair, you could give him any gun and he'll still probably find a way to make it sing. Either way, the original point is Hibana. When you're looking at sort of the Kanto, the corridor angle, when you're looking at maybe if they're bringing a castle and you want to pop all of the castles as much as possible, who is better than Hibana?
Yeah, and of course we know that Castle Azami were always going to be brought for this top floor. That is always going to be a given. You need that extra bit of kind of cover that you need to make for yourself, because Windows is the name of the game whenever we look at top floor. Castle barricades, easily dealt with, and it just exposes resets. Over towards the CEO, towards that front desk. I think they are looking for a spiral take, but what a peek from Psycho! Oh dear, nobody over towards lobby windows actually covering that angle. I mean, it's a risky take, you know, for Psycho to go for. He could have easily have died from a multitude of angles, but just catches him at the right moment. JV not in the correct position.
Wow, Herd's locked out quite early. A lot of utility in the pockets of a player that will no longer be seen. And now instead they're going to see if they can try and drive the glass. Felipox underneath just gets caught by Ion. Dodges either side. Another fight to find Ion. Connects a couple together, and even with the track, all you're getting is the reveal of who killed your friends. The grenade forces the play. Great little pinch from KZ. But fair enough, he's already done his work, Ion, and earned his keep.
It's just the aggression, isn't it? It's really working for Elevate. Furia losing a lot of bodies and just not trading back the kills. KZ and JV92 in the 2v4 scenario. Very separate from one another. You look at where both of them are. One pushing in towards square, the other towards main. There's KZ though. Oh, almost got the pre-fire, but Raps able to pick up the kill, and JV caught in an avalanche of pain as he walks up the stairs. Honestly, Furia, they need to give their heads a wobble, because this is not looking good.
Well, how do you wobble? I don't know what that means, but no, that's incorrect. You have a timeout. Furia have already called their attack timeout here, and fair enough.
Don't think we'll get much for our...
This is for Maria. This is for Maria. Well, it might be for Maria. I mean, even then, even to be fair, if they're speaking a language I understand, it's still very hard to hear on the Bravo stream. But we will try and be quiet so you can get it. Unless we definitely can't hear, and then we'll just scream, I think.
I think straight away, Igor's noticed the way the Elevate are approaching this. Very aggressive, very in your face, taking the early engagements. I think the correct way to go about it is try and slow things down and go for a more controlled take if you're Furia. You know, moments like that, they're taking these risks. That's the way Elevate are playing this. Yeah, you have to try and stop the momentum now, because we know the any Brazilian side with a bit of momentum are terrifying to go against. You look at the lineup, I mean, straight away, whenever it comes to control, yeah, bring a shield in. You know, that's going to give you the stability. It allows you to take portions of the map in a more concentrated manner. So Philippox picking up the Blackbeard, yeah, great take. Lion as well, I think, is going to be really helpful. Trying to keep those roamers at base, stop them maneuvering around the map. That 3-second ping now is big old difference.
It gives them room to play, and it gives them room to breathe, and they're trying to take it and not get taken amongst it, because Elevate, as you said, they're playing aggressively. They're leaning back into it. They're making sure that they are the first point of contact, and they're heated up. I think it's very fair to say. Philippox, on towards a Blackbeard, not taking risks. Right, get the shield in, get yourself around these corners, go for a little bit of a face check. Let's not try and play the gun game right now. It's sort of suffering us. We're great at it, fine, but adaptation is what makes you the best at Siege, and they're going to try and adapt towards where they're weaker right now. Cover that off instead. KZ, going to be led in here. Just get a bit of the opening stretch, more DMRs, DMR City. They're about to be maybe checking someone on the front desk. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. They know. Just don't do it. He hasn't done it.
See the more slower approach from Furia. They're really just waiting for these angles to be swung. And here comes the Blackbeard. Nobody's with him, though.
Yeah, they got the cover. They got KZ. Stempspin got through the wall, though, and there's actually two that come through in the same second. The Executors popped off quite cleanly, but now a 3 versus 3. The Blackbeard gone. The Nook gone. That was their point of ingress removed. But can those players have been able to get themselves above, get on the verticality, get one more catch, waiting, hoping, and just collapsing upon Ion. A 3 versus 2 demo.
I think for now the win con for Furia is probably looking to try and expose the amount of vert that you have, because there's still a decent amount of that upstairs, and if they can try and cover off some of those angles and then take in control of tellers and archives, it forces everyone back. And maybe you can maybe try and get the hatch open if you can. I think could be an option for them. Yeah, they are going to go and open up the hatch, so I assume it's going to be an open area drop, but they need to make sure that the player can safely drop, and there we go. He's killed the guy, so now they can go for it.
Well, the last player here is caught out, hit the fire extinguisher, stunned, a little bit rebuffed, a little bit confused, and a lot of it dead. Oh, he's slapping the fists. At first, I thought that was a fist bump and really aggressive, and I was like, don't do that. You'll hurt yourself. But they needed it. They need the energy. They need to lock themselves back in. They need to put this to bed sooner rather than later if they want to keep fighting towards the top spot. Because all that we've talked about, Demo, of, these Elevate players, they know these players very well, they should be able to get themselves together, all of that stuff, it's the same for Furia, right? Technically, it's not a same region matchup, but it's players all from the same region. They need to make sure that they say, oh no, any other Brazilian teams, like the ones that have beaten us before in finals, or semi-finals, or quarterfinals, we will beat them every time.
Overall, I mean, Furia, they didn't want to go as quick as maybe what they went for previously. They were just really hoping that Elevate would get a little bit antsy and go for the swings and then win those engagements, and that's what worked for them. However, that's the full rotation done. And that's kind of the third bomb site, which attackers should be winning. It's the other two they have to try and crack, and certainly this basement. I mean, we said it was basement last time. It wasn't really. Everything occurred in towards that top and mid floor. We've never seen any of that bottom floor attempted from the attackers, and that's because there's a really good roam game, a really good fight from Elevate. And the Fury have kind of solved their issues of that timeout. You would hope so, after what we've seen in that mid-floor attack. They can try and play that more controlled element to it.
So this, because of the changes in dropping down and not being able to get your gun ready, he's happy to sit here and sort of propose, look, if you come down here, I will get you.
Yeah, you can only drop a shield done that. Or you flash the guy out.
Yeah, so he's trying to bait some utility there, trying to bait some attention, and they're just not playing that game. They're going to see if they can try and instead drive the Nook up. Once again, swapped over towards JV92, up towards Spiral. Now we've seen attempted Nook plays, we've seen attempted Spiral plays. Neither, I would say, worked, though one in around just did, but it wasn't really what they wanted to do with her. It's just a quicker, clearer chase onto, well, Ion. 2 people invisible to each other's cameras. Who's going to be the one that can get the catch? Or they're just going to drive on towards green, get the person on Beeper's doorway. Are they watching towards this angle? They are. Ready for it, and that'll at least give the warning that, well, they're taking over the space, but Reset sets one. KZ sets it back inside the site. Herds putting pressure on towards it. You said, are they going to ignore it? Wow, they've driven themselves up on towards Gold Hatch, dropped down, found themselves in the vault, and locked off the rotate back round for Leapox. Waiting for the catch, hoping somebody else tries to show up, but they can't cross the divide whilst they have green stairs. There's 1, there's 2! Hertz gets himself 3 for the round, finds 4! And Furia find that Fury that makes them a top contender.
Yeah, great play there from Furia, knowing how heavy Elevate invest into that roam game. They've just sidestepped them, and they thought, let's go direct into the site. If we are able to take ATMs and control lobby, we then have that hatch available to us that lets us drop down into the bottom floor. Elevate, timeout. I can't hear a whole lot out of this.
No. I think even if you could speak Portuguese,
It'd be difficult.
very quiet. Both tack timeouts used in the opening 4 rounds.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often.
I think they're circuit breaker timeouts where obviously, well, I don't know. I think it's probably both for Fury. It's one, stop, elevate, getting the momentum, but then also Igor saying, guys, look at how they're playing. We need to do something different. Whereas I feel for Elevate, they want to now stop the Fury momentum. You know, and maybe this is where they're going to try and adapt to the adaptation. And that's the Hall of Mirrors that we're in.
Well, all we've got ahead of us now is a lot of siege, really.
This was really good as well from Hertz. Realizing, okay, what the play was, let's go straight direct into the bomb site. We know there's going to be roamers. Where are those roamers going to be trying to rotate back into sight from? It's going to be down those hatches.
Yes, and they're probably not going to take gold because they, or the vault hatch, because they know that somebody was in that position.
Was in lobby, yeah.
They'll expect that to be watched, so you go in towards elevator. You could try and go the other way. You could try and hit an open hatch, but it's, again, I would say the open hatch is a bit more worrisome because it can be watched, right? You know that they're in garage as well. They could have a cross on that as soon as you hit the floor. So where can you drop on a hatch that's quick, that isn't going to lead you into a firefight? Well, usually elevator, because even when you're defending it, you don't really have somebody actively watching it. Oh, the attackers are watching it. Who would expect such a thing? We, my lovely audience, my all-right demo, and my loveliest production crew, we're back in a timeout, unfortunately.
Come on, I don't.
I just wanted to.
Oh,
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
I'll walk and you can solo cast.
All right. I wouldn't be the first time.
Well, I had to do solo casting yesterday, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's why I woke up on the wrong side of the bed because I had to run around. I also sprinted. I had an incident with the chocolate bar where I had one in the green room, in our little sanctuary amongst the chaos. And Leo, Alfama, someone who I trust so much, was sat next to me. And I walked away. An unnamed member of production crew came in and I asked if they could have it. And you know what Leo said? Yeah, go on. Took my chocolate bar. I sprinted. Sorry.
Did it have your name on it? Did it have your name on it?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
No, it didn't. You have to start labeling your property.
Anyway. Well, okay. Is that why you just wrote your name on this desk?
I'd be writing my name to those PCs, so I want to take something home.
It's like you're going to see Demo in the back of the player cameras writing his name on, like...
I'll be walking up past the player and saying, that's a nice keyboard.
Nice keyboard.
Don't mind me.
It says Demo. There's the letter. It was Demo. I haven't... we had a peek in towards the player area. I haven't really been around there. That's where the hosts live, and the analysts, and they're better than us.
Okay. If you say so.
I don't know. I'm just testing.
I'll be honest. I don't really take notice of them. I don't bother with them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You're.
Why do we need to?
You're too cool.
It's just them. Why do we?
They are very cool.
Do we need them?
Okay. Think about it. Right. Who's cooler? All right. This is a hypothetical. Chat. You can answer as well if you want. Who's cooler? Desert Shoe or Laxing?
Laxing.
Yeah.
Hit me another. Hit me another.
Okay. Guz or Fresh?
Fresh.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. James Devmarter Stewart or Foxay? Ooh, this one's got ya. This one's got ya. Some people in chat, they're already immediately on it.
I'm gonna go with Fox.
Okay. Well, there, point proven. Analysts 3-0'd us. That is the end of our Analysts versus Casters Who's Cooler series. So let's get back to the Rainbow Six Siege series, hopefully sooner rather than later. I was going to actually pull us in, but looks like we're not going immediately in, and I've ruined...
You need to stop relying on the preview monitor. You need to just focus on the one that everyone else sees.
I know. I saw fist bumps, actually. I saw fist bumps on the player camera. I saw some sitting up, and I was like, oh. And, oh. How's this origami going? We'll have to find out later. Because we are back in. 2-2. All timeouts used. Elevate took 2 rounds. Bam, it was super strong. Furia timeout. Furia just took 2 rounds back. Bam. Super strong. Elevate timeout. And now we're here. Now we're here, don't we?
Yeah, in towards that top floor again. Still with the Castle and the Izami. And I suppose the Aruni too also provides that extra bit of safety. So the correct operators, of course. The only thing that they've obviously dropped because they know there's no longer any ranged hard breach to deal with. You don't have to worry about bringing in the electrifications. Nobody's going to be able to open up those canto walls. However, I think now that leaves you open for everything else that you didn't ban. And straight away, we're seeing the Ying, we're seeing the Grim. And I'm thinking they're just going to strong-arm their way for the windows, like we see so many teams do. You know, they've got the Thermite. Immediately, that's going to have to be a square take. So it's going to be square, probably into playing off the windows, dumping in a whole lot of util. They've got the smoke, so they can smoke off the breach, and then just walk in and plant.
Now, let's see how much of the conversation about momentum shifted any of the width of the waves here. They've put themselves up on the window. They're going to try and get the clarity over top square, get themselves in. Now, Stemp could swing out wide from the position at this point, but is going to stay closer towards the flag itself and keep themselves a bit safe. Not wasting any real time here, though. Ball opened, and so is his army. Ooh, Ion.
Did you notice that straight away? JV just kind of had in the back of his head, hold on a minute, we know what these guys are, we know the way they've played. There's a big likelihood one of them's going to get a little bit cheeky and try and kill me whenever this breach gets opened up, and he was ready for him. That is the adaptation. That's the difference that we're seeing from Furia compared to the first 2 rounds.
Well, the smoke's come in towards the coverage of the castle window as it pops on the back of whatever's been extinguished here, just trying to hit some angles, some holes, some hot shots on towards nobody's home. But look, all the pressure on these windows, on that breach. They haven't done anything on towards the Kanto side or the back.
Nade has diffuser. Keep that in mind. It's not JV on the breach. So Nade is going to have to either rotate that diffuser and maybe walk in for the breach, or he's going to have to swing in. Those are their options.
Getting rid of the barbs, making sure that they can apply some pressure elsewhere. Now, at this point, there hasn't really been anything that's forced Elevate truly out of position, right? Resets is still on towards the reception desk. You still have Stemp around the vending machine, around the flag for the swing, and you still have Janitors, that important, integral denial position, the core of stopping this window plant. So what do you do here from the side of Furia? A rotate, round on towards stock, a rotate, on towards top square, try and get the push, the pressure in, a little bit flat, a little bit laterally, draw all the focus over, but you still have Nade on the windows with the kit, so you have to get at least one more player out out of the equation. You have to draw a little bit more focus. The Bees start to roll. Stempsos 2 gets the double on the swing, and now they're in, but they're going to look, the wrong way. There's still a catch from Nade, but it's caught right back. Even though so balanced out, technically a 2 versus 2, cleaning up inside Janitors either side with a big rifle, and it just sings and screams a piece as it tries to pop at least a second player. Hit with a bit of a stun, but surrounded on all fronts at this point. Psycho can't find the route out.
Grita aí, caralho! Grita então que é? Ô, Psycho, você é chocado, porra!
I wish I spoke Portuguese.
I have an idea.
He says with a smirk upon his face.
That attack from Furia, little bit worried whenever you see the Ela appear with the double kill, but that was actually who they were targeting. I don't think that Furia were really too bothered about trying to get a plant down, mostly because I mentioned it's the Ying with the diffuser and had to swing in by themselves. And you look where diffuser was dropped, by the way, it's in towards the front desk.
Yep.
The main person they wanted to kill was that Ela over towards vending. They knew they had an opportunity where they could push in from square, down through the corridor, have the Grim jump in through the stock windows, and you try and collapse that guy. Stemp was able to get 2. However, they traded the kills back. You know, really, really well. A very important kill from KZ, being able to upset the balance, goes into the 1v2, and it's only a matter of time before Furia get that kill. Great 3 rounds in a row here for Furia. Really good half already, and they still got another attack.
Still got another attack, and also, that was the one after the timeout as well, and yeah, it was a little bit longer. There was the sort of tech pause afterwards, but still, the conversation, as you called it, the timeout was to stop Furia's momentum, right? If anything, the tech timeout probably would have helped a little bit and slowed that even more and just put ice on the game. But unfortunately, Elevate couldn't quite find a way to shake that out of their cup as fast as Furia did. It was a fight. It could have at points gone either way. But now, we'll see if they can try and fight their way. It's an open site, but it's heavily contested on the top 4 of Elevate. They're currently sitting on the second story, trying to piece themselves together, although I think one maybe just slipped their way down. They have the watch underneath. Ion, I think, is inside archives with the Solus. Yes, just down, reading all the player, reading all the sort of use of utility. We've seen Ying's played, and they're just making sure that they're one step ahead of any of these approaches from the Intel game too.
Yeah, Furia just opening up little portions of the map, putting pressure on the Elevate, trying to restrict that movement. We know that they're going to go with the shields. It's been working for them, playing that control-style siege. Great information being gained by Philippux. They're playing aggro. Oh, not aware, though, of Ion inside of Tellers. Catches him as he exposes his side. Down goes the shield.
Huge first take there on towards, well, the shield. But there's one back, and there's suddenly 2. JV92 traded out. And okay, they've maybe lost at least one on the side of Raps. They've lost the Warden. But they've lost the Lion. They've lost the Blackbeard. And, well, now they've also lost the Solus.
He's in sight, by the way.
Yeah, I was a bit confused. And, well, seemingly so the defenders. What is he going to do? Where's he going to plant? They've got just solid roof above them. There's a bit of a fight, but Hertz has it covered from the swing on Beeper's door. They've just absolutely slunk their way in towards the site. And I said it. There were so many defenders up top. And, well, maybe Furia realized that too, Demo.
It's exactly the same as that basement. They've ignored the roamers. They just walked into the site. They've killed the one guy who was there. And then all of a sudden, the Elevator thinking, hang on a minute. If we're not in sight, then who is? It's these guys. It's Furia.
These guys. 4-2. And Furia, I mean, have just turned it on. And you can see, you know, Psycho from the opening 2 rounds, super loud, super hyped, as the team should be. Pointed it out. They want to make sure that they can bring the fire and the fury, because remember, if this series is another 2-0 Elevate suffer, I mean, it's pretty locked in that that's all she wrote, right? There needs to be like a 3-way tie or something that happens.
I think the way it works out, if they get 0 points, then they only have one more game to play, which is against Wildcard. And Wildcard also play today. And if Wildcard get 1 more point, even if Elevate 2 a Wildcard, Wildcard could be on 5 points, and then Elevate would be on 4.
Yep.
They can never catch Daystar. Also, keep in mind if they take 0 points from this game, because even if Daystar doesn't win another game, because they beat them, the head-to-head then is in favor of Daystar. So the only team that Elevate can catch, it's going to be Wildcard. And they still have to play each other. That's the fun thing about this. But, like I said, they need to get points here today. They need it.
Well, Furia, we said if they can mop this up in the first map, then the second will be even quicker. You're on to Chalet after this. You're on to Furia's Chalet. You're on to a Chalet they love to play. And also, a Chalet that Daystar 7-2'd Elevate on the opening play day, whilst Furia 7-4'd Falcons on it. Elevate need to find something here, and they need to find it soon. Yeah, Furia might be able to take this first attack, but then it's a 5-2, then it's just a little bit of repetition, and then they just need to make it stick one more time. And then you have 5 rounds in a row that have gone away from them.
Look at the operator bans too from Furia, disabling a Ying and a Glaz. You know, there's big pushing operators that we see a lot. Again, pretty standard bans. I think overall for Elevate, yeah, you've disabled the kind of top floor hold with the Izami, and then you've also got rid of the cage for the hatches. However, it has left the shields open. That's one thing that Furia have not went out of their way to ban, but probably expecting shields, the Echo comes straight into the lineup.
He tried to sneak his way around the camera so he didn't get hit by the EMP pulse from it, but just found it at the very end. It should be able to, on a repetition, no. JV92, the long watch on his own gear, and that Twitch drone won't get that little spread round. The Twitch themselves, though, is maybe going to hunt for some revenge. Remember how the drive-through came on that drop on the Vault Hats. Ignore the top floor players. When we had it as an attack from Furia, we're not quite getting the same here from Elevate. The Deimos doing his best to see if he can shepherd anyone out, force them back towards the site, make them drop themselves down and just get the clear on these top 2 floors. And, you know, it's step by step. They're not leaving anything to chance. They've got the Monty. They're just going to roll the Man Mountain through. Just to find that everybody has already left.
Yeah, needs to be careful, Raps. He does know that there is an Echo on the board. So he just has to try and make sure somebody's with him so he doesn't get caught out in the open. And there's the drop. But you look at the time.
Yep.
I mean, 1:15 remaining. There's still Goyo. There is still the Dachanga that you have to get through. In terms of going for like a kind of default play, it's probably not going to work for Elevate. I dare say I think a hatch drop might be their only way out. If they try and play default in free blue, I mean, you still got the blue guy to deal with. This is going to chunk down more time. Wow, where do they go from here? A great roam from Furia. Not to really get kills or waste util, but just the time.
Also, it's sort of gone a little bit under the radar, but I said it before, anyone could pop off on this team. And remember how Herds and KZ set kill records. Oh, Herds and KZ, since I think they opened with 1 kill between the pair of them, over the past 5 rounds, got themselves up absolutely massively. And, well, as the blinds come through, we'll see if this pair can do a bit of damage. There's the first. Herds plays this position, and he's going to pull himself further away. Why not? 20 seconds demo. They either have to try and hunt him or just push the site itself. They rotate. Full team rotate on towards the back of the opposite side. They're going to go towards the hatches. Yes, the Monty is a little bit held up on this position, but he's the one with the kit. They need to try and drive these kills. Ion finds Philippox, and JV92 finds double. Puts it back down for Psycho either side, and there's the fight. There's 2 1 versus 1s, but with 5 seconds, they still need to try and plant a pistol. Swinging its way around will hold on. But Herds just has to get this little spray. No, he can't quite get it. Can he get the shield? Oh, no! That was close.
Oh, misses the mag with a ping.
Woo!
But able to get it with a shotgun. Yeah, a close affair. But Elevate, I mean, they just had to panic drop, didn't they? They just had to try and fight their way through, and they made a good attempt at it, but you just had that feeling, how are they going to kill them all? You know, it would just... it wasn't going to happen for them, and I mean, a great play as well from Herds. We knew that player in blue stairs was going to waste even more time for them. I mean, he just ran away. He ran into dirt and knew, if you want to push me, you're going to have to waste even more time, and I can still kill you. So there's so many variables in that round, but I think the biggest one was the time, and that's where Elevate fell short.
it's also, if you sort of look at the bans, right, you're thinking about attacking that basement site. You've not got a Ying, so you can't really instigate in the same ways. And you've not got a Glaz as well, which a lot of the time they'll try and dig in, get the swings around it on those sort of awkward angles. And those fights on the ground floor, around server, those are the tricky places to try and get yourselves in without those sort of, you know, swing round, get the blinds, and then push on the back of it ops. 5-2, though. And credit to them for how close that got. I mean, that they just had to send it, and it almost made the distance. With the clash pick up here from Nade, I'm wondering if that's going to be a bit of not a more panicked response. They're a team that loves to play their own game, and they're 5-2 up. But just slow them down a little bit more, right? The same way they stretched the time of the previous. Do the same here. Move forward, move backwards, make them have to take stock, make them have to try and push you out of that flag position. We'll see if they take the bait or they end up with a little bit more time to work with here on the execute.
Yeah, I think the clash comes in kind of the replacement for the Izami that's been banned away, because you still need that kind of fortification operator. And, you know, clash isn't necessarily that where you can place that cover. It's just not going to move. I mean, she's movable cover. Yeah. So you get what I mean? It's kind of the same, but not really. Which, then why am I saying that?
It's alright, I do that all the time.
I think I've puzzled myself here. I don't care. Clash, great pick. Really, really strong. We know the util that she can eat up. And in terms of how you deal with that, if you look at Elevate, there ain't much. I mean, realistically, I think the one that I'd be reaching for is using the impact EMPs and then sprinting at her. Other than that, there ain't much. You know, you don't have a Nomad, don't have a Kali.
So they have the mute jammer, obviously slowing the walls, and well, as the impact EMP comes through, here's the breach, and this will make that clash position, well, not impossible. KZ, though, I think is trying to peek out on towards the Hibana currently, and we'll see how
with a hollow, by the way.
Yeah, if you got anything from that, that's a real shame on you moment. They're going to put the pressure on towards the clash, but again, this is what the clash does. Yeah. Sits there, she's like, yeah, throw your flashes. I'm fine.
It stops people swinging in towards top square.
Ooh, but they might swing in elsewhere. Misses the moment, Nook. Oh, no. That could have been huge. Instead, they slink their way away. Now they'll know, but how much of it was a snappy reaction? Maybe they thought that shot came from Kanto. There's always the possibility it was the breach, so the Nook might have got a little bit lucky here. There's the swing. No! Misses two, and oh, those could have been huge first takes. Instead, it's Herds that gets rid of Ion. Ace is gone. You assume most of their work is done, but well, what else do they have to potentially smash their way through the quad wall? What else has been used from those Hibana pellets, really? Is that wall still solid on the square side, Demo?
Oh, this is such a tricky position for Elevate, where they're getting themselves into good positions, but they couldn't find the kills. However, they are able to get the down on the Philippox, and they can maybe now go for the swing in. It is the floors with the diffuser, keep that in mind. But he's kind of trapped in here. They have to vault over the double windows.
I mean, 15 seconds, still a clash. They haven't got the quad wall, but they're just killing through them. This really should be Furia's locked in. Herds is able to get one more. The positions are so swapped round. Herds for 3. And at this point, 2 on 2, they don't have the kit. They're trying to drive themselves close. They've picked it up and holding F. 1 versus 2, playing on the cover. There's the swing round. There's a bit of a scratch onto the first for the down. There's the second for Psycho! There is the pop-off that player had in the opening 2 rounds. And there is a Furia, not quite done yet. Oh, sorry, an Elevate.
Big 1v2. Essentially, because the guy was planting. Yeah, it all came down to Psycho to make sure he could hold both of them. And he had both of them in a headlock. No problem at all for Psycho. Wow. Again, I just think for Elevate, the timing is so fine right now. It's both of their attacks have went right down to the wire. And well, that time it worked for them. Didn't work in the basement. So I always think if you're really playing with the time, you're playing with fire.
Yep.
You know, and it can go either which way, and it's just total chaos, really, those rounds. And I think Elevate have done really well to fight against Furia here. I don't think they've kind of sat and rolled over. I think they've shown the spirit. I love the reaction straight away whenever that clutch comes in.
5 seconds to insertion.
I mean, Elevate, they're not out of this game. They're only 2 rounds in it.
I think that's the sort of swing as well, right? Because think about what they lost and how quickly they had to come with the plan B. As I said, they couldn't get the breach on the top square side. They couldn't get the control there. They lose the ace, and then they just had to swing in and send it. And yeah, it's fair play to make that stick. It's fair play to make that come, and it was as close as you could get. But Furia really should have reacted maybe a bit sharper, maybe a bit different, maybe push. But then you go, well, did they do anything wrong? They waited for the plant. They tried to take a 2 versus 1, and Psycho just popped off, swung either side. It's really narrow margins of there's not really, a right or a wrong decision. It's just sometimes things will land, and the unfortunate realities of the game. Ooh, hurts. Oh, hurts right back.
16 free deaths.
Yeah, and think about it. 2 of those were in the opening 2 rounds. He has, since the timeout, gone at least, like, what, 14 to 1? I'm going to find out.
You can understand why Alamo fears him. You understand.
I'm reloading.
Just unbelievable performance.
Well, that's a bit of a spanner into the moving machine of Elevate, as that is the Thermite gone, so making those big breaches that you would like to have maybe towards the quad wall, which again is always risky to get Thermite charged in that, but still not going to have that option. Still got the ace though. Still got 2 Selmas. Still have ways into the bomb site, of course. Now Elevate, they turn their attention towards this Tellers and Archives hole, but no, they've missed the Mozzie, who is now crossing the site. However, Resets is there with a pickup, using the vertical gameplay to their advantage.
Hertz has gone 16 to 1 since the timeout. Didn't get a single kill in either of the opening 2 rounds. Was the entry death in the second. Just for the update on how crazy his performance has been and how much the team talk has worked for him. But one of the hard breaches gone. They don't have this position though, and well, they're just going to get the close down. Where's the pressure? Okay, they've got a little bit of the wall opened, but nowhere near as much as they would have liked for just throwing out all of their Selmas, and that is the hard breach done. Oh, that is! Wow. Sorry, 17 to 1. Oh. 18 to 1! Since the team talk, the mental reset. Nade gets one. 19 to 1. He got the last one.
How?
He has gone high.
18.
18.
I
can count.
Have we had a 20 bomb yet? This event?
I don't know.
I don't. I want to say no, because I think we would have heard about it. Don't know if any stats people can get a check on that. Have we had any 20 bombs?
I'll find out.
Thank you. But he's on for it. 2 kills is all he needs.
I'll light the beacons. I mean, it's crazy. If you get rid of the opening 2 rounds, you'd be looking like that scoreline is, I don't want to say maybe the best single performance by a player ever. For not having the opening 2 rounds and going 18 to 1.
Nah, because you always have to compare it to the kill record, which is what, 27?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
That's fair. But this is a 6-3, right? If this goes into overtime,
which I don't think it will.
No. But if it does, at this rate, like, over the past 4 rounds, he's had 3 triple kills. That's crazy. Sorry, I need to... I'm having a moment. And now they put him on Clash.
5 seconds left.
They need to slow him down.
No, wait till you see. Wait till you see.
Honestly.
Wait till you see.
Odds on at least 3 kills as a Clash.
Oh, I like it. Using the Clash. Aggro inside of Dirt. Gains that little bit of information. Kind of tells anyone on the attackers that that's going to be a no-go zone. Unless you want to try and fight against that shield. See for Elevate. think they are going to try and want to go for that sweep and clear from top down. There is that open area hole, but as we kind of learned from the first defense of Furia, they were just looking to waste a bit of time, not really after any fights per se. If that little bit of pressure gets added in, then yeah, they'll just drop and see a very early approach coming in from the Nook. I mean, the pacing here from Elevate is a lot better, and this is what they needed to improve on, because then it leaves them a lot of time for that endgame.
JV92 gets the opener on towards Stemp. The Deimos is gone, and this could end sooner rather than later before Herds even gets beyond 20 kills. They've lost their chance at hunting down these loose players, and they're so cautious, right? They're getting themselves in and getting some of these breaches, but you know, you can see that pace, that ferocity that they had at the very beginning of the game is just sort of dissipated. Okay, just wait. Right. They get themselves through. And they get themselves to rotate. They're getting the control here and also more options. Remember last time the pace was slow towards the end. They couldn't quite get themselves in and amongst the site itself until the dying throes of it.
There's not as much util denial, though, from Furia. Not seeing the Djanka. No smoke picked up, too. Only thing that there is going to be the Goyos, which, whenever you're bringing in the Twitch, should be dealt with fairly early on. So still a pretty good position, I think, for Elevate to be in. But it's just going to be that clash. We know that's going to be a big issue. Oh, the double drop comes in, and they're going to be shredded. One of them goes down. Oh, a bit of a whiffage here, but the C4 able to pick up the kill. No missing that. Now it's a 2v4. And Verds to get the 20 bomb, he needs both of them.
He does. He needs to see if he can try and get some of this control and just take the fight on the clash. Maybe he's just saving it for a little bit later. There's the swing round, a bit of pressure, and the down onto one more, but oh, there's caught by a thorn trap. And there's the final one! Furia! They had a bit of a shaky start and then reaffirmed, oh yeah, this is the team that we are. There was a little moment a couple of rounds ago where we got a taste of a response from Elevate, but unfortunately that was their map gone. Now ahead of them, oh, might be frozen out from Chalet. 18-3. 18-1 since the timeout was called after round 2. I mean, how do you beat that?
Well, you all need to try and find some kind of solution, but whenever a player is just on one, you know, and really Herds, he could do no wrong. He was killing everything that came near him. For Elevate, you're thinking, how do you beat something like that? It's like the Terminator's in there. How do you go against it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those sort of performances, as we said, where it's this is a player that wants to win, right? This is the player that has said, I'm going to take all of this control. Yeah. Multiple 3Ks, multiple bits of confidence. And you're thinking, hey, what's a good map for people who are confident in their guns right now and confident to move around a map? Oh, Chalet. Yeah. You have a follow through. You know that sort of demon is about to get bigger and bolder. And fair play for the team. Obviously, it's a team game to sort of prop that kind of performance up. But I still can't get over 18-1. That's blow my mind.
No, well, just
all right.
Just
sorry,
any other day for Fury. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I thought you were going to say it's just any old day. I'll get that.
Well,
score.
Just because you haven't dropped 18 kills doesn't mean it's not real.
No, my games were over too quick. I win in ranked 5 rounds. Anyway,
5 rounds? So not 4?
No, 18-3, as I said. But you look at the rest of the team, right? We talked about this at the very start of this, that backline of Nade and Philippox, their job is to sort of support the team. And as I said, it's a team game. On the other side, it's not that the killing game was generally a million miles away from a few of the Elevate players. This doesn't, you know, sure, Stemp was a bit behind as an entry.
It started off really well for Elevate. You know, I think they went out of the doors gunning, ready to go, but that timeout from Igor was really well placed. They then slowed their pace down Fury. They knew what they were up against. We see a few times where Elevate tried to go aggressive, but Fury were ready for it. They were expecting that style of play. And then whenever we seen the side switch and we go to the attacks for Elevate, it was the time management. That's what really done them in here today.
Well, what's done us in? Taking a quick break before we're back with map 2. Welcome back here on Towards the B stream, and we are sort of throwing ourselves in towards maybe the ultimate here for Elevate. They have lost their map pick. They did not find the cash reserves in bank they were hoping for, so instead they have to see if they can out-ski Furia like an 80s action movie. But will the villains win? Can the heroes, the plucky underdogs, find something here, Demo?
Are Furia the villains?
No, but like, you know, like an old ski movie?
What?
Okay.
They don't exist, by the way, before you even start. Though that is not a type of movie.
Wait, you don't know about, like, okay, we'll have this discussion
later.
No. First, do you think the underdogs can pull it off here in Chalet?
No.
Okay, well, do you want to elaborate, buddy?
I just think Chalet, it's always been a great map for Furia. I mean, I think the top sides in Brazil have always been good. I mean, I'm not the only one. Whoever that 6% is,
Believers.
you're going to get a lot of channel points.
Hey, believers, this one's for you. It starts, as every great movie does, with potentially impossible odds, with everything stacked against them and only 6% believing.
That is not how every movie starts.
The best movies do.
No. Okay, such as?
Lord of the Rings.
You're not going to beat me in this.
Lord of the Rings. Did you think that it was easy for the hobbits to get the ring to Isengard? Do you think that was easy?
The ring wasn't supposed to... Whoa.
I'm testing you.
Whoa,
I'm testing you, movie boy.
Is anyone in the back who wants to come work with me instead of this? Because this is causing issues.
I love the idea that you think me,
Yep.
the girl who dresses up in medieval armor and fights people, doesn't know Lord of the Rings. I can't even pronounce it. Doesn't know Lord of the Rings enough to test you on silly bits of
you
Lord of the Rings.
do medieval fights?
Oh, I do.
Really? No idea.
Yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, I think it's all I kind of post.
No.
Yeah. I didn't realize putting on armor and fighting people was going to be so cathartic.
Yep.
When I got my Esports Siege Commandee last year.
You get that?
Yeah, I hope.
Oh, you didn't tell me.
Oh, I should have.
I don't think you've told anyone that.
But I got the trophy. I'll show you the trophy right now. Here it is. I always bring it with me. I wish I was doing it then so I could have had that in the video, because I think that would be, and this is maybe the nerdiest sentence I could say, I think that would have been the coolest thing to have in the video, is fighting in armor. And there's going to be people that are like, that's so nerdy. And I'm like, I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I care. We're going to rehost again. If you hadn't have guessed why I've started this. I had such a cool build in towards that map, and then I had to throw it all away.
You're a bit jumpy today, aren't you? I've noticed
I
you're
am.
a bit, I don't know.
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
I'm chilling. Like, this is just a bit of Fury, you know?
Do you know they actually say the third day of any broadcast or of any show or of any work thing, if you start a new job, the third day is the toughest day.
Why is that?
Because that's the day when you're just before your body gets used to the clock and gets used to the reset and the exhaustion of the 3...
What do you mean used to the clock?
As in, like...
Hate to break it to you, there was an hour time
No,
difference for us.
I'm not talking about that clock.
The Australians, what do the Australians get? Just they have to suck it up?
Yeah, they do. They should, and they probably will. I'm talking about like the idea of what a 9 to 5 is in this case, or like a day of work, or a day of a show, or a day of whatever. It takes 3 days.
Yeah, but you worked 9 to 5 before this anyway.
Not directly before this.
Well, as in before you got into...
Oh, yeah. No, but I mean, if you start any new job... Anyway, we're back in the game. But I'm going to finish my point. I don't care. If you start any new thing, the third day is the one just before your body has acclimatized to your new routine, but the exhaustion of the first 3 days of getting used to the new routine catches up with you. Also, I'm in my early 30s. I don't care. Anyway, we're back in Siege. Let's talk about Siege, shall we? Monty, Glaz, Ella, Warden. Gone. Bye-bye. We don't get a lot of Ella bans, to be fair.
Well, Ella's seen quite a rise in pick rate, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I think for a few reasons. One, I mean, the gun has kind of been back to its best over the past number of patches and the changes that's happened. And then obviously the kind of the play with shields, where there's just been so much of it, and Ela being a great counter where you can get that shield bash immediately and get some pretty easy kills onto those shields. Yeah, makes sense to remove the Ela, you know, a very strong operator. Currently, just because it's the meta. Warden, again, just going to open things up for a Ying here. I think that's going to be the main worry now. Without that operator, the flashes are going to be a big worry. So certainly Elevate, they need to be careful of that. In terms of util denial, I mean, there's none from Elevate. They've actually went straight away for the Oryx, so obviously expecting shield to be brought by Furia, and they'd be correct. There's a double shield setup, Blackbeard and the Blitz. And straight away, by the way, whenever I see a Blitz start to slow walk up to a window, they're going to go through that window. That's the best way to play your Blitz. You should try and keep it as quiet as you can, and then you get the 3-2-1 and go. I can only assume that they're expecting this top place firehold, and he's going to sprint in through the snowmobile window and then up the main stairs and try and kill the guy top fire.
Well, this is the first bit of pressure they need to try and apply and get resets out of the bottom of the staircase. And instead, yeah, he's going to try and clear out below. Herds gets Stemp in the meantime. That's one shield with a kill. That's two shields with a kill, and Herds! Can he do it again? That's his 20 bomb over 2 maps, but he doesn't get the third for the round. Ooh, good gun for just that sort of rebuff. And he heard that shield coming. Get out of there. Go, go, go. Mayday, mayday. Via the wine, up West Main, and they're not quite in a position to catch the fleeing player, but only just. Psycho slinks his way back round. A bit of a run around. And think about where he started. He's not actually too far away from where they first drove him. But somebody is lurking. Somebody is hiding. Somebody is maybe about to make a friend with a big blinding bit of metal. And oh no, the worst time to pop up. Moves away from the blind. But there's 3 players coming in for the execution. Casey locks it down. 2 players left. But there's still 1 player left. And there's still no players left. They are no longer still trying to hold on.
I love Blitz. I do.
You do?
I really do. Honestly, just really good operator for Chalet. You know, Chalet is a fairly close quarter map where there's a lot of engagements that there ain't a lot of kind of maneuverability for the defenders, and that's where Blitz is great. You know, you think about the areas that he was able to find those defenders. One player right on the snowmobile stairs is able to say, oh, I'm right here in front of you, what can you do? Same with the Vigil, trapped inside a cave, nowhere he can really escape to. And really for the Blitz, I mean, Nade didn't get any kills,
nope.
But it's that information. He was able to pick up information on, I believe, at least 3 players that round alone.
It was the consistency of it as well, right? And I think, at what point do you try and pick some let's go anti-shield operators? They've obviously banned out 1 shield.
Well, they tried to force the Oryx, and he got picked immediately by the Blackbeard, which is the irony in that.
So where do you sort of go from there? Because
was it the Blackbeard?
We've got another... Yeah, the Blackbeard got the opening 2.
Yeah.
We've got... Oh, actually, we don't. I was going to say we've got another 2 shields, but they've moved away from it because that's the other response. The attackers get 2 things. One of them is the power to win around with a section of operators. The other one is to know what the defenders have picked. If you see them go anti-shield and anti-gadgets, then you've forced a play style. This is a team that's so good at adapting, they could just move on to something else.
Yeah, now they've completely ignored the shield. That clash now being brought in to counter said shield is now going to get countered by the Nomad that's been brought in. So it's just counters upon counters here today for Fury. And again, that's what you expect from them. Such a smart team, and they're ready for everything. Can play any style of siege if they need to. But yeah, and I think that the main worry here, if you kind of look at the general setup from Elevate, is because they're so fearful of those shields, they've went turtle. They haven't extended. They've just sat inside a bedroom, and they've gave so much map control. You look at where Furia are situated. They've got themselves in towards top fire. They're ready now to look at opening up that breach. They've got 2 minutes to go for just a very default play.
Now, Psycho on the Clash is trying to hold on to the verticality. There's obviously pressure on the piano window, and they have the keybers to give themselves a little bit of wiggle room in case it gets a bit too direct and a bit too costly. They find the drone, but at this point, they're still just trying to ping utility and look for these positions. Try and find the Kaid Claw, which should be catchable.
The only thing is just there's no vert, obviously, for kitchen. That may be the only worry that maybe Furia have once they get upstairs. And, I mean, they are taking quite a while to really get these breaches open, because don't forget, you need both open.
Yep.
To really make this kitchen plant work. I assume it's going to be the dining plant rather than the kind of kitchen drop and go for the plant. A little bit scrappier that way. This is much more of the traditional kind of siege route that we like to see. Finally, we're going to get these walls opened up. But half wall, that's always the danger, man. That's the player that they need to try and find.
Well, the flashes roll out. They've used the tub to slow down the breach on the wall, but Resets also breaches KZ in the meantime. Keeping control of West Main as the pressure just starts to bleed into the site. Ignore the verticality, but you can't ignore Resets. Is able to get JV92 on the trade. Holding on again to this West Main position has entirely stopped the approach. They've had to peel back. Focus on the wall that they still can't get. The second will follow it round. Do they have enough? Will it pop off in time? Should do.
Yeah.
As the wall is opened up, but now 40 seconds, Demo.
Yeah, and it's the clash, isn't it? That's what they need to try and isolate. Herds has still got an air jab, so we can utilize that to try and stop the clash from the approach. But it's going to have to try and be a plan, and they're just going to try and get themselves tucked in behind the B-bomb chassis.
Now, there is that verticality. Look at them watching patiently down on towards the plant spot, but he's spraying and he's missing. He can't quite stop the kit going down. And now, as they do finally find the end of it, 17 seconds. But a 2 versus 2 with a clash in the mix as well. It means the math is a little bit shaky. Are they going to see if they can try and stick it elsewhere? They've got Herds watching for this fight, watching for this cover, and he's going for the spray, and he finds another one. Can he get himself a 4K? It's a post-plant. Yes, he can. This may be one of those series we and Herds remember for a long time.
Oh, it's one of those days for him.
One of them days.
I said on Bank he could do no wrong. He's carried that over. Yeah, really scrappy, I think, in the end there for Furia. Not the traditional, beautiful style of siege that we like to talk about. They really had to work for that. Obviously, you look at that kitchen. They wanted to go traditional. You open up towards office. You have that breach. It stops players on the vertical if you clear half wall, which was actually the kicker. They did not clear half wall. We've seen the clash able to stop the initial plant go down. And then they had to kind of think, okay, now what do we do? There's a player upstairs. We don't have time to go and challenge them. We have to try and plant in an off-plant position. And that was just beside the plants. However, you can still get killed from the position of half wall. This kill that he got onto the clash was so important. If he did not make that happen, it was really easy for Psycho just to sit up there and get another kill from the player going for the plant. Wow. Big plays from Herds. And 2-0 they set.
So, okay. I don't want to just keep sort of harping onto it. Was where he was before, 18-3. Since that timeout, adding now this 6-1, taking away the 2 deaths. What's the mental math there, Demo? Is that a what does that put us?
24-4.
A 24-4.
That is
it wasn't the toughest math.
That's a 6 KD.
That's a 6.
Oh my.
KD. It's unbelievable, right? And there's almost this element of how do you stop him? It's pretty much impossible right now. It's going to really take him slowing down, if anything. But also, you kind of want somebody too, because I want to see how far he can go. If this was a series that got to a 3rd map, you're probably looking at the chance at breaking a record here. And just going to do their best to prop him up. There's some pressure. On towards Library, on towards anybody that might be trying to read this approach, but spray it out. Either side, just keep them under a bit of pressure. Slow the 2 shields, but you can't slow them that much. There's the blind, there's the pop, there's 1, there's 2. JV92 finds 1 in the meantime as KZ does go down, but they've taken out the Solus, they've taken out the Denari, and now they're being taken out themselves. They've lost the Ying and the Twitch. Back and forth, they're still refusing to give up the territory, but Herds gets his 1. And now another 3 versus 2. There's a lot of time here for them to try and hunt, Demo.
Yeah, and this is, again, just beautiful from Furia. You know, they baited in last round where they didn't bring any shields. We've obviously seen the kind of hard shield counter in the form of the Clash. Got really no value from that. And then straight away, as soon as the kind of anti-shield operators are gone, what they do? Let's go back to the double shield and just completely bombard that top floor. And they took that with such ferocity. And now it's just a case of getting the shield set up, get a bit of information, feed that to Herds, let him get the kills. And away they go with another round win. And, oh, timing there for Herds. Almost got the slip on the Psycho. And Now they're going to try and see if they can move in and go for the plant. Oh, a C4 to say hello, and there's the swing from Psycho. Herds, not aware that he was right beside him on the corner. And now Philippox, a 1v2 to try and clutch up with on the Blackbeard.
40 seconds. He's not going to take the window hop because then he's sort of in a bit of a sitting duck position. So instead, rotate your way around, keep them guessing. Maybe you'll be on a door. Make them have to wonder where they can set this 2 versus 1 up. The problem is he's going to have to drive away in either way, and now he's got them sort of both in front of him. That's the angle that he would like to take, though. They're going to see if they can just spray around, be one step ahead. He's got too much to watch, and as that pops out, just slows him down. He covers the divide a bit. He's over the top, but Psycho steps back in and locks what was almost another round away from them into their favor.
Yeah, tough there for Philippox. Getting the Blackbeard in the 1v2. Tried to isolate the kills, but just couldn't make it happen. So Elevate, I mean, after losing that top floor pretty quickly, they were able to stabilize very well in that 2v3. I mean, that C4 was perfectly timed for that blitz jumping in. And then from that point, Herds, again, desperate to try and get that trade, not aware that Psycho's beside him. And that leaves, obviously, Philippox in the sticky situation. Elevate timeout.
I mean, first of all, too quiet for us to even hear, even if we could speak Portuguese. Second of all, I think this was going to come regardless. But also think about how that round was at one point going to go away from them, right? That they were in the 3 versus 2. They still had loads of time, a minute 40, more than half of the total round. Had a shield up, had all they needed to build, and then just went for the execute, and the execute was punished. Games still, over this entire tournament so far, especially the games that we've cast, based on how I've seen it in that, I'm confident to talk about other games, is the best site for defenders. Just has been so locked in, seemingly throughout this, and also still not the first pick for a lot of teams. There's some that have sort of gone there first. I think Shopify Rebellion did in the game that we covered. I'm trying to remember. Anyway. But otherwise, it's the problem is bedroom and the problem is kitchen.
Well, I will say I think Chalet is one of the maps where all 4 are viable. We've seen success from all 4. Teams will play all 4. But it is going to be attacker-sided. You know, that's the way this map just plays out. We've talked about the crossfires that you can establish whenever you think about the windows towards the kind of piano balcony area. Obviously, big window towards the top floor too is an issue. You've got top fireplace. Just so many different cutoff points that you can really abuse from an attacker standpoint. So 4-2 halves are expected, and at the moment, we're on par for that. You know, it's 2-1. If we have a repeat, then there's the 4-2 half that we're all expecting.
Now, obviously, with that timeout, we couldn't quite hear, and even if we could, we couldn't quite understand what was being said and put across there from Elevate. But you wonder what the conversation is. Based on the pickup, they've still got the Denari. Can play against the shields, can just cause a bit of a problem on the hop-in windows, obviously. And those are, think about, you know, you're on towards Ivy window, you're on towards piano window. They're awkward bits to clear out first without taking a lot of internal map. You need to otherwise get your way up the stairs, you need to cross library, you need to cut your way across. There's a lot to do to get rid of small bits of gadgetry without just bouncing nades around, obviously. But that's not really how they like to play. You've got a lot of flashes and a lot of flashy players, and are they just going to go straight towards the site? There's some smokes popping in. There's a Nomad that is so tempted. Maybe they had the read that this is clear. They know that there'll be players either side, but they do not know. Oh, yes, they do! Herds! Off to the races once again. Psycho washed inside the bath. And now spraying through for the next! What are you doing? Wasn't listening, was locked in elsewhere. That's 2 for Herds. But he's probably not going to stop there. He's about to be swung. JV92 is the cover. Herds, he's well aware he's about to have a fight, but JV92 has that support structure. KZ's caught. There's JV for Stamp, and that's just one more for Herds.
Can we get a head check on Raps? Is the headset on?
He was enraptured by something else.
The guy's spraying through the wall right beside him, and he just, I don't know. Just no reaction. Get some new in-ears, maybe.
Well,
look, overall, whenever you think about what I said, where you can really use a lot of the windows and use those cutoff points, I mean, Furia, they used that really well. I mean, they isolated those kills. They made it so Elevate had no breathing room at all. And I suppose now probably the worry here for Elevate is you've just used the timeout. And you go into that round and you get absolutely destroyed.
I think that's sort of what happened in the first map as well, right? When we had the timeout called. That, again, it just...
Hello? What do I always say? The lights are on?
Somebody could be home?
No, there's nobody home.
Nobody's home.
Yeah.
So he's now 10-2 on this map.
You are fixated on this herd
because
watch,
I want to see a record broken.
It's a kill watch right here.
It's a kill watch. Yeah, this is this is the opposite of like a fraud watch or a hate watch. This is a kill watch. Because you have to pay respect towards what is possible, and what is possible is breaking records. And 10-2 after 4 rounds. At this point, you look at the rest of the team as well, and you're thinking, okay, Casey's got himself even, JV92 is in the positive, and Nade and Fleepox are playing the support roles.
Yeah, but that's what they always do.
But it's everything.
I mean, one thing, the support players will not be bothered as long as they win the game.
But this is what we talked about at the start, right? This is how we said this team likes to operate, is you have 3 of the best gunners in the world with a very solid backline.
Yeah, you got Nade who can play like just any operator that you need him to,
yeah,
and Fleepox obviously is at IGL.
Wow.
Big Nade.
Big Nade.
Oh, did you see that? The Yorick dash across. Oh, he's playing with him. He's dashing back and forth. He had to dodge the nade into the flames, and he goes back across again, but they're ready for him this time with even more util.
Well, Casey's able to find one. In the meantime, there's somebody else picked off, but JV92 is caught. They've still got this territory. They're still trying to hold on to it, Elevate. You can see them stepping back in. They don't just want to sort of hand it over. Casey gets caught out. They've now hopped in towards Library, and
good pre-fire.
Yeah, great resets. Knew we needed to win it. Took a slightly different approach from the player that was further away, and for what feels like the first time in a long time, a man advantage in towards the favor of Elevate. Okay, good position. And you have a bit of limitation on what they can do, and think about where the site is. Are they just going to try and run in? Surely not. The Blackbeard is going for the face check. He's about to be swung from over the top, and there's the catch. All right, 2 versus 2. Now they're doing the verticality nade. Gets the coverage, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Ion. All that's left was the top player on the first map for them. Can't quite catch the second, and now with a shield, it's a post-plant situation. They know where he is. They know he can't leave. They have either side. They're just going to run the Blackbeard in and bully him.
What did we say about the support players?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You know, that is such a clinical Fury around, though. You see that happen all the time. I think they are just absolutely spectacular whenever it comes to winning rounds that they have no right of winning. Whenever the odds are so stacked against them. You think about that scenario. Elevate with that aggressive roam game, which worked well for them in some parts during Bank. They went for the same approach. Good team play, using traps a lot better. That little bit of barbed wire as that player jumped in through Library, that helps. That pre-fire comes in. And then the 2 remaining players have no map control. All they have is what, I think it was Bar. Was that it? That's where they came in from. And they were very clever in how they went about that. They heard the rotations. They knew there was 2 roamers. They heard them rotate upstairs, back in through Piano, and they thought, as they're rotating back, as they're transitioning, why don't we just try and double up on the one guy in the site? And that's what they did. The Solus exposed himself, loses it, and then we've seen them in the perfect position. Those players are still running back to site as they are geared up behind that dining table, ready for the plant. And then from there, so easy for the Blackbeard to control that space, to stop that aggression. The shield work today has been so impressive from Furia.
And it's not done yet. Nade currently on the blitz. On the site that they did lose. Now, you said Elevate will be looking for 2. Here is time to make that come together. Obviously, they weren't a million miles away last time. It was a bit of a brawl on the site itself, and the plant was just swung round on, and, well, actually, they were in the advantage, and it was stolen away from them. Early removal of the Goyo canisters, of the utility, and of Wraps. KZ quietly making sure that he can get his one, get his entry, and put down who could be a problematic roamer later on. Raps has had these positional moments. He's been able to strike back, and now, well, he's out of the equation, which means that the catching of the rest of the map is something that should be a bit simpler.
Yeah, I think having that opening pick for Furia just opens up their options now. They can use that extra man to cut off different windows, different positions, hit a backstab maybe. I mean, Chalet's got plenty of those. It's a very large map that roamers have a lot of fun of, as well as the kind of lurkers as well. So we'll see what they want to try and go for. Obviously, we're going to be looking at this jump in through the big window, try and get the shield in the back and go for the plant. The only issue is, what about C4? It actually killed them last time, remember? The Blitz jumped in and just got annihilated and resets in the same position, ready with the C4. That's a clone. That's not real. Don't panic, everyone. It's not real. Just didn't think he was going to head run into it.
I mean,
they're smarter than that.
If it was someone else that wasn't fully boxed, maybe that's the possibility. But they have some of this verticality. Ion has JV92 though. There's the Thatcher gone. There's potentially the chance at a C4 if they have the one. Yeah, that's it. The Thatcher could have stopped that, but at this point they can't. Stemp still has blue, still has this locked down. You can see Furia are wondering where to go first. Well, Herds goes first, takes Stemp. That's that blue player gone. There's a close fight on the right. Does he know about Denari? Oh, does he know about the jump out? Oh, rotten timing, rotten location, and now the Blitz has to take the 1 versus 1. It's Nade with the kit. It's Denari with the gun! Gets the hit, and Ion locked it above. Now has the kit above a locked hatch. Psycho has Herds. This should be the 2. Based on the work, I said it before, Ion had been that top performer for Elevate on the first map and had been quiet up until this round. But what a round to find your feet. 20 seconds, KZ, and they are not offering him anything. They've got the dead man playing above. It's a locked hatch. He could try and rotate out double if he really wants to, but why would he? He's got the kit. He can waste time. Even if he dies, he's still got to come that way. But he won't go anywhere close.
4 kills for Ion. Great play upstairs, being able to retake Library. Obviously, the Iana just went for the clone. It is so loud, isn't it? You can hear that scan. And it's a very long animation as well. Like, you're locked in that for a good period of time. So it's really easy for Ion to jump out and get that kill. And then, look, just has to front up a full flash with the Blitz. And obviously, there's a bit of luck in the side. Come on, he couldn't see. He just sprays and hopes for the best. And, hey, it worked for him. So yeah, big round from Ion, big individual performance. Elevate, even though it's not been a pretty sight in some of these rounds, 4-2-half, so there's still potential here, but their attacks need to be a lot better than Bank. Mostly their time management. That was the issue for them.
Oh yeah, everything was late. It was late, it was a bit scrappy. It wasn't a million miles away at points, which is a good thing in some ways, because you know that, as you said, that time management, if they can find an extra 10 seconds, 15 seconds from somewhere else in the round, almost execute could become a great execute, could become. There are whole teams that have built on that mantra of, we just need that final 30, 20 seconds. We just need that little bit of time, and we've got everything there. I mean, it's also a long animation to get out of as well. That is probably the moment. Great read from Ion, stepping in, knows a shield is going to come his way, can hear it, obviously very audible, starts the knife before he's even hit by the blind, and then sprays and hopes, and sometimes hope is a nice thing. At this point, though, Furia on their defense. Starting themselves on, as I said, the most successful site. As I said, some teams will opt to start with it. This is one of those teams, and if they get themselves again into that 5-2 position as they did before, well, the Sky and a 2-0 is the limit, Herds.
This guy, honestly,
12-4.
He is an absolute nightmare. I mean, already double digits, 12 kills. Oh, he's still got quite the way to go. I mean, oh, what a performance today. I mean, the kills just keep on going. And this is on the mirror, by the way. He's just running around. There's the mirror.
Roaming mirror?
You're supposed to be sat in sight, mate. Did you not get the memo?
You never heard of a roaming
mirror?
They're
Deimos tracking the mirror.
What would you do? How do you counter Herds? Just having fun with it, you know?
I don't know, 4 shields? Well, 3 shields because they banned 1, but just rushing with the shields, I don't know. What can you do?
Panic.
Minute gone, and what control have Elevate gained? I mean, yes, they've got themselves in towards Solar. I'm sure they eventually will work their way in through Piano and in through Office and get ready to begin this clear out in towards top blue, but it's quite a bit of util they have to go through. You've got the Fenriers, you've got the Wamai, of course. That's going to be the heavy hitter to eat up a lot of the util, specifically those Candelas, if he can get them. However, this Twitch drone could get a lot of value. Is able to get one of the mirror windows. So it will force a player out of box. Actually force him all the way back into the bomb site. So this is looking good from Elevate. But we need to see that execute on this top floor within about the next 20 seconds, I think.
They've been able to start just a bit of pressure on towards Ivy. Get themselves on the window as well and get a bit of wiggle room. Oh.
You did not.
You did not? No. He did not mean to do that in a million.
Well, why is he stuck? He didn't jump back out. Maybe he did. Maybe hang on. Actually, I'm going to go back inside. But I'm going to do it the cool way.
He's stunting on him. Now, the blinds roll out, as does Nade. Gets resets and pulls out that Twitch, that big gun. There goes Deimos as well. There's another crossfire. There's just all of them being fed into the machine of Furia on the top floor. Philippox is found, but look behind you. They're all around you, KZ. Claims another. And it's just so cool and calm and par for their course, really.
Yeah, just gunning them back. I mean, the util dump attempted. I think obviously the Warden played a massive part. Having the operator top fire, doesn't have to worry about the Candelas rolling in. Always going to have that coverage. I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure that the Warden kind of got beat to a lot of those kills. Whereas he's going to be the main man to stop those kills coming across in through blue and then obviously towards the staircase, over towards the double door that leads in the top fireplace. That's his job to cover that cross, but never really got the opportunity. But Furia just gunning. I mean, we knew this. Whenever it comes to individuals, we know that Furia have got, again, absolutely fantastic individuals in their team.
Herds is currently 30-7 over the whole series. Over the 2 maps.
So that's what, 4.25?
Yeah. Note that it's obviously the first map was a 7-3. This one is currently a 5-2. If they kill Herds, they can win the round.
Is that your logic?
Well, I also can't count because they've won 2 rounds and he's died 4 times this map. So sometimes it doesn't always work as well because also the rest of the team is pretty good. Let's go back to the drawing board. Yeah. The problem is, okay, if you look to the other side, if you look towards it, yeah, Stemp's a little bit behind and hasn't really been able to get himself into the series. Ion as well.
I mean, max kills 5.
But
the max kills of one player on Elevate is 5, and that's within 7 rounds.
Yeah, well, that's what they're missing, right? Because outside of Herds, the max is 6 on the other side. The sort of split there, and Philippox is obviously 1 and 3, plays a support role, blah, 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 we talked about that. It's not that they are, as a team, a million miles away. It's just Herds is that difference factor right now.
The individuals. Oh, my. Is that 4 nades or 3? What was that? It doesn't matter. There's too many. And he still walks away with a kill. You've got to be kidding me.
I'm back in Yellow Stairs. I'm back in Consulate from back in the day. All those nades. And they still couldn't really stop him. They did find KZ, though. So, they got 2 for their trouble and lost 1. You're looking at the trade out. JV92 had utility that will no longer be used. No C4. They can put some pressure, but no wraps to respond to Blackbeard. Bot resets, very importantly. Gets that instant response for the double Herds. We started this round by saying he is the difference factor. What's 3 more for the tally? What's 2 more left? He's able to find his first. He's tracked and he swings right into it. He's expecting, but he can't. I think we all believed for a second.
Yes, until I seen the Deimos track.
Yep.
That I think was a big decisive factor there in that 1v2. Whenever one of the players knows exactly where you are, you can feed that information through to the teammate. Yeah, gonna be difficult for that clutch to come in. Really good util dump. I mean, yes, the Mira was able to actually slip and still get a kill, but they cleared the position, which was the main thing. They cleared that position. They forced Furia back into those crossfires. That's what I'm talking about in Chalet. You dump that util, players have to move, and because the map is fairly close range and you are going to be exposed to a lot of exterior angles, that's where you can catch them as they try and rotate off that util to not get killed by the nades. So yeah, very impressive from Elevate. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They had that game plan. Everyone was in position. 3, 2, 1, in goes the nades. They have to pull away. They pick up the kills. They have that man advantage to overwhelm the remaining player, and they win that first attack for them. So Elevate, again, similar to Bank. I said it on Bank as well. They're not far off, and they can still do this, but again, Furia, have they shown any signs of slowing down? I don't think so. There hasn't really been a moment, I feel, where Elevate has controlled the series. You know, if Elevate wins round, Furia's straight back in it again.
Nade took a little bit of damage from somewhere. I was about to say something else, but then I saw his health go, and it always takes my attention. Just going to slip their way away. They've got time to waste. The Sledge should be able to make quick work of those castles, but as soon as you start hitting them, you open up to pressure from Ivy window, so you need this. The pressure to come across from Library, draw them in, catch them out, and, well, there's still a Blackbeard running at you, and there's still, oh, almost the catch on towards the player. Another window, another fight, and something that he wants to try and dabble in. He knows the Sledge is watching it. More grenades, but he gets away with it. KZ gets one. You can see Raps taking even more damage. The air jab to try and force the player. But now they're in piano, and they have that man watching on the back.
Fleepox was inside of Mud. He actually barricaded himself in, and now he's on the flank. This is going to be big for him. Should get the freebie, and he will.
The 4-2, the player outside has to enter. The Deimos is massively hurt, and the catch hasn't worked, but resets. Had a big round last round, is able to get himself towards the first engagement. More tracks, more time. They have a lot of it here. Elevate, they can cook, they can try and isolate.
Only issue, look at where both the attackers are. They're so far away from one another. One towards the office balcony, the other inside of bathroom. So in terms of trading each other, that's not going to be there for them. They have to win individual engagements.
And that's why they're doing this. Big rotate, getting themselves all the way around. The problem is the kit. It's in piano. They'll know it's in piano, and they're ready to try and swing around and put the pressure. JV finds Stemp, and that leaves just resets. Will Herds get a kill this round? Oh, he's going to try, and he's going to fail. Resets. Gets himself a second. It's all on the BP. But again, they can just peel back. There's a minute. It's a 2 versus 1. The same thing you said about the attackers. The defenders are going to learn that lesson and set up for a trade game. We do not want to give resets to 1 versus 1 engagements because, in fairness, if we're talking about 2 OKDs, well, he's there as well right now. He is the shining light and the fire and the fury of Elevate, and the one trying to bring them up another level and up another place and get a very precious point. Ooh. The only point found, though, is at the end of a JV92 bullet.
Yeah, that's going to be match point, series point for Furia. That's what I mean whenever Elevate are able to win a round. Furia straight back in, get their own round. They are not allowing the momentum to build for Elevate, and they need 3 clean rounds to make this happen. I mean, I will say the time management's a lot better. I mean, there's something to execute a lot earlier, but that round, they didn't get the kills. That big flank from Fleepox, no flank protection as well. That has to be questioned. How is he allowed to rotate from inside of Mud up blue stairs? Whenever your attack is stemming from that side, come on, you've got a Nomad as well, don't forget.
Yeah, it's the sort of awkward split of it, right? Is they're learning these lessons, but it's late in the series. Yeah, and it's against a very tricky opponent. I think things like that drive across the top would have probably been better. But the fact that KZ can pull out those little moments, the fact that they can have these little backstabs and they're confident enough to do it, that is Furia. That is the opponent that you're up against, and that is what is punishing them. And
what I love about Furia is they never make the same play twice. Yeah. Every single round, there's always something new. There's another obstacle. You know, like, you looked, Herds, spawn peeking in his mirror. Straight away, that's the obstacle. Next round, Fleebox hide inside a Mud. You know, that's the way that they're maneuvering around this game. Is they're always adding a unique element that Elevate either have to deal with, or Fury will win the round off of it. And there's just so much to take in, like there really is. They know everything. They've got every trick in the book. They wrote the book.
They wrote the book. Is it a good book? Better than your book, I found.
What's wrong with my book?
Well, it was just like 51 phrases.
Did you not like that section, How to Play Blitz?
Yours was just a stocking filler. This is the main gift.
couldn't get it published. Tried, tried everyone.
Tried everyone. Tried Parker, but he's not actually a publisher. Just looks like one. They're looking for the player just tucked. The C4 won't catch anybody, and Herds slips away. They're going to see if they can just try and draw some focus. Again, they're shaking things up. Give themselves some smoke coverage on the rotate across the top, and they're back towards the site. They entirely abandoned anything on bedroom, anything on that side, but they made sure that they were known to be there, which means Elevate will be slowed down a bit. They won't be able to just jump in and swing, and they'll have to recheck and check every corner, every drone, every angle. Luckily, as we said, they're learning to do it faster and faster. Is it too late in the day? We'll have to find out. But to be honest, this round and how he's gone the past couple, my eyes are going to be on resets. If he can get himself into an engagement early, if he can try and get that body down that he's been so consistent with, maybe they can apply some pressure elsewhere. They know there's stuff to steal, and by gum, Demo, they're going to start trying to steal it.
Yeah, again, the bans, I think, are strong for Furia. The demos, which did cause them a lot of issues, with being able to track some of the roaming potential that I think Furia have tried to obviously exaggerate, and then Elevate. Yeah, get rid of Defender. It actually opens up then for your own backstabs if you want to go for it. So, and I think whenever you look at operators being brought in, like your Brava, like your Dokkaebi, if you can hack maybe like a Banshee that could have been brought in replacement for the Fenrir, you have the Dokkaebi call. Again, those Rat players could really shine.
Ooh, there goes Herds, but KZ gets stamped right back, and JV92 is traded immediately. What a run! What a rush! And what a ride! Elevate have just taken Furia on. Really good execute there. The entire team pushed what they needed, and they're not done yet.
Yeah, and really good pause as well from the Gridlock, because, again, there's no traps, there's no Fenrir. Got himself into position where he was able to work that kind of kitchen corridor and overlook in towards blue, catch anyone who could have rotated down, and also in through the hatch. So a really good little setup where you're going to go for that 3-2-1, dump the util in. If Furia try to drop off, there's players sat in the correct positions to catch those rotates. So yeah, great round from Elevate. Furia just getting caught out there, lack of information maybe. Did they ever consider perhaps a Valkyrie could work for them? Just a little bit of extra info?
They had a Valkyrie.
Did they that round?
Yeah, she was the first dead, and it was the hands of Herds. But they used.
Probably what I didn't know. Oh yeah, there is one.
There it is.
No count for short then?
There she goes. I mean, it could have been stolen by the Brava. It might have been sort of stepped ahead. It was a good response. To be fair, Valkyrie, a nightmare on this map. So I think if you're not bringing either an IQ or a Brava to deal with her, then you're kind of just giving them a lot to work with. Either way, this is now the moment for Elevate, obviously. It was the moment before, but they have been unable to thread 2 rounds together since the opening 2 of the first map. Since then, yeah, they've gotten a couple rounds here and there, but it's the consistency that has unfortunately plagued them. They've taken what is the most successful site on defense. It's the first time this game defenders have not been able to win out games. And now they're back towards the site that they got in their first win on their attack, towards bedroom. What is going to be their MO? Will they try and shake things up? As you put it, Furia like to change what they're doing, like to bring new adaptations, and you've got to be ready for that, and also ready for your own game to develop, or maybe as they get the read-through and the step into, it's the Warden of Herds. It's just going to peel themselves a little bit further away, waiting for the chance at a swing.
Just need to keep an eye on this blitz. That's going to be the game changer here for Elevate, where they're going to utilize that shield. Looks to be West Main, and oh, he's got a drone. Oh, thankfully for KZ, he's been able to spot that out, or else he would have been a sitting duck, but still will be up against that blitz at some point, and they're going to have that pinch, and he's essentially trapped now. Never mind! KZ says not today! What a shot onto Ion, and that has just killed the round dead for Elevate.
They lost the blitz as well. Resets, though, as I said, he's been the man of the moment, and he's trying to make sure they keep fighting. Brings at least one of the bodies gone, but it's Philippox. It's that back line. Think about what they've lost, though. That blitz, you said it was the main worry, and they were too laser-focused on charging down. And unfortunately, they were just baited into the verticalities. An easy pickup from above, and, you know, they've fallen for a ruse, a bit of a trap of their own. Resets takes a bit of damage. But getting that kit back when you know it's being watched from above, you've already lost the man with a shield on it. And you are pressured and pressed for time. What do they have here? Demo. A buck, fine. 4 flashes, and then some Bs and a call. They need to try and get Aggie. They need to get themselves in and up there. But all the routes are watched and well sort of trod. So instead, it seems like a bit of a deeper rotate. Now they've got the kid out of there. They have to try and find what is a clear side, but they haven't done anything on the library side. They haven't done any of the clear on the far side. Everything's been focused on West Main.
Need to try and find a pick. Maybe the buck from below could try and pick off the kill. I mean, right now you see the guy behind the bomb chassis. That is a sitting duck, but he won't know that. Maybe he hears the call. Maybe he has an idea. Oh, just misses. I mean, look at this. From Herd somehow gets out of that. How do you do that? Psycho was on the window, could have caught the rotation, and he also gets the kill on the stem. You're not allowed to do that.
Pre-firing the angles, but we won't see the rest of it. Furia. A dominating performance led by the brilliance of Herds and KZ towards the end. They just sort of leveled themselves in. But, I mean, how do you stop a team that plays like that, Demo?
Look, that is Furia at its best. I mean, the way that they have operated that chalet, they had so many. I mean, think about how many strats they had. They never repeated the same thing twice. They were always catching Elevate by surprise. It was always different. I mean, the team play, obviously the individuals, which sometimes what it comes down to. You know, who individuals wins the games, who has the better players. Look, we know Furia. We've seen what they've won compared to the side on Elevate. This was what was expected. I mean, this was how I'm sure the predictions went.
I think by the end, he was around 32-10 over the series.
He just doubled what he had at the start of the day, no?
Yeah, it's just, you say it, the player on his day, how do you beat it? Unfortunately, you don't in this case, and you know you've got to give credit, obviously, towards Elevate, especially towards the end. They started to,
they started to get. I think they approached the day with the right game plan. Go aggressive. Don't allow Furia to breathe. Disrupt them. We've seen that on Bank, but it just shows how good Furia are. They can change their play style like a light switch. They can do everything in this game, and they've shown that. Igor called the very early timeout. They changed their play style. They wanted to play passive. They knew how Elevate were going to approach this. And then once Furia get just a little drop of blood, they are on you like a pack of sharks.
Well, although they fought, now unfortunately they're fraught, and they've got to just watch what happens next.
Yeah, rough for Elevate now. It kind of sets them up where they need to rely on Wildcard to lose. That's where you are. You're hate watching now. They're gonna be hate watching Wildcard.
They gotta be, to no surprise, 32-10. Our MVP is Herds.
162 EPS, by the way.
The game heard all around this area, play space and hotel and world and everything else. It's just been a phenomenal game from them. And what else can you really say, right? This is, as we said, a statement game. And, I mean, it's probably going to get even worse from here.